Hey there, this is Teacher Podcast, episode 335, 12 English tenses, full review. You read English, you understand English, you've been learning for years, but when it's time to speak, your mind just freezes and the words don't come out. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. My name's Ola and this is Teacher Podcast, and I'm here to help you finally speak out loud. This isn't about perfect grammar or fancy vocabulary. This is about your voice, your words, your real English. Today, I want to give you a clear, structured overview of all 12 English tenses. If you've ever felt confused when you hear sentences like, I speak, I spoke, I have spoken, I've been speaking, I will have been speaking, you are definitely not alone. Most learners try to fix tenses in a few minutes or in a few days with a course book or ebook or completing some gaps and doing ABC exercises. But the truth is, it doesn't really work like this. You cannot fully understand and refresh all English tenses in short explanation. Why? Because this system is not about memorizing forms. It starts with forms, but definitely it's more to it. It's about understanding how English organizes time. So think of this episode today as a helicopter view, a map, a way to see the whole system from above so everything finally starts to make sense. But understanding is only the first step. Real progress happens when you organize this knowledge properly and practice it in a structured way, preferably with guidance, with repetition, and a live explanation. That is exactly why I want to invite you to something special. On the 19th of April, the 20th and 21st at 8 p.m., I'm running a live 3-day event called Wielka Powtórka Angielskich, Czasów. It's not just a lecture, it's not just a webinar, it's a workshop where you will go step by step through the tenses, organize everything in your head, and most importantly, practice together live. If you feel that tenses are something that you've been kind of learning for years but never fully mastered, this is exactly for you. You will be able to ask questions and use the chat during the session. So go and join. Go to teacherola.com/3 dni. teacherola.com/3 dni. And now let's go into the full overview of the 12 tenses. The present simple is used to describe habits, routines, general facts, and permanent situations. For example, I wake up at 7 every day. She works in a hospital. Water boils in 100 degrees Celsius. In questions and negatives, we use do and does. Do you like coffee? Does he play football? Past simple is used for finished actions in the past. The time is usually clear or implied, such as yesterday, last week, 2 years ago. For example, I visited Paris last summer. They watched a movie yesterday. For negatives and questions, we use did. Did you go to school? I did not see him. I didn't see him. The future simple uses will and is used for spontaneous decisions, predictions, promises. For example, I will help you with your homework. It will rain tomorrow. I will call you later. So we've just gone through 3 simple tenses: present simple, past simple, and future simple. Time to move on. The continuous tenses describe actions in progress. The present continuous describes actions happening right now or temporary situations, so happening around now. For example, I'm reading a book. She is living in London. It's temporary. It's just for a moment. The past continuous describes actions that were in progress at a specific time in the past or were interrupted by another action. For example, I was watching TV when the phone rang. They were playing football while it was raining. We can have two situations happening simultaneously. We were playing, it was raining. The future continuous describes actions that will be in progress at a specific time in the future. For example, I will be studying at 8 p.m. tomorrow. She will be working when you arrive. The present perfect describes experiences, life events, or some actions that happened in the past but are connected to the present. For example, I have visited Italy. She has finished her homework. It is often used when the exact time is not important or not stated. The past perfect describes an action that happened before another action in the past. For example, I had left the house before he arrived. She had already eaten when I got back home. The future perfect describes actions that will be completed before a specific point in the future. For example, I will have finished the project by Friday. Specific point in the future. I will have finished by Friday. Or they will have arrived by 6 p.m. By 6 p.m. they will have arrived. The perfect continuous tenses describe duration and ongoing actions. The present perfect continuous describes actions that started in the past and are still continuing now. For example, I've been learning English for 3 years. He has been working all day. The past perfect continuous describes an action that was ongoing before another past action. For example, I had been studying for hours before the exam started. She had been waiting for a long time before the bus arrived. The future perfect continuous describes how long an action will have been in progress by a specific time in the future. For example, by 2027, I will have been teaching for 20 years. At 6 p.m., we will have been traveling for 12 hours. This was the last sentence I had for you today, but don't go anywhere because we need to practice and we will do it right here, right now. One more thing, if you're feeling confused after all this theory and it feels like one big chaos in your head, don't worry. Do not worry because it's only natural. That's why I'm inviting you to my webinar. Just imagine how much we can do there. We can go into details, explain everything properly and actually practice together during the live workshop. Each session will last about 1.5 hours and the whole event is spread over 3 days. So that's 3 times 1.5 hours, and I'm not that great at maths, but it seems to me it's about 4.5 hours of intensive English learning. Tenses are our main focus during those 3 days, so come and join me at teacherola.com/3 dni. teacherola.com/3 dni. I'll see you there. And now let's practice, listen and repeat out loud. Does he play football? Did you go to school? I will call you later. I was watching TV when the phone rang. She will be working when you arrive. She has finished her homework. I had left the house before he arrived. I will have finished the project by Friday. I have been learning English for 3 years. I had been studying for hours before the exam started. At 6 p.m. we will have been traveling for 12 hours. So this is your full overview of the 12 English tenses, but I want to be very honest with you here. If you feel like you've just listened to a lot of information that is complete chaos, it's completely normal, because this is not something that you master in 14 minutes, in one listening, in one episode. Tenses are a system, and systems need time to settle in your mind. What you've heard here is a helicopter view, a map of the entire structure, but real understanding comes when you go deeper, when you start practicing, asking questions, making mistakes and correcting them in real time. That is exactly what we're going to be doing during my live workshop, the Wielka Powtórka Angielskich Czasów, on the 19th, 20th and the 21st of April at 8 p.m. There we will not just talk about tenses, we will organize them in a clear way, practice step by step, and you will finally see how they connect in real communication. You will also be able to ask questions live and get answers during the session. Go to teacherola.com/3 dni to sign up. teacherola.com/3 dni. And I'll see you inside the workshop. And now don't forget to head to teacherola.com/335 and grab your free worksheet for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Stay fearless, take care and say it out loud. I love you, I believe in you, and I know you are ready to speak English. I'm your teacher, Teacher Ola, and you've been listening to Teacher Ola Podcast. Bye for now.